Hello. Hey, so Storm Freaks, it's Phil, and I've been seeing Halloween decorations already out in the stores, and so I'm freaking out tonight. We've got fittingly a paranormal investigator / storm chaser. Cam Crosby is here tonight, and he's actually setting up and creating a video series called Twisted. So we're going to find out all about that tonight on episode 215 of Storm Front Freaks Live.
Going green. Greenwich. Saddle them up. You got it, boss.
Hey, welcome to the most entertaining weather show. This is Stormfront Freaks Live, and it's brought to you by our friends at Windstorm Products. Now, you've heard us talk about these guys before, but hurricane season is upon us, and it's time to start getting our homes ready. You can trust Windstorm Products and the world's largest online distributor of hurricane hardware. They've also got a $5 flat rate shipping to all the 50 states in the U.S., and they make it easy to stock up on everything you need to protect your home. So visit windstormproducts.com and weather any storm with confidence. So, Greg, I'm sorry they don't do the $5 shipping up in Canada, but you guys usually aren't getting a whole lot of tropical storms up there.
Not a lot of tropical storms up here.
It gets windy up there at times, so we might be okay. But, hey, thanks to all of our Patreon teammates. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen, we've got a new EF5 teammate, Tanya Griffin. So welcome, Tanya.
Tanya!
To the team. So tell you what, you can join our team as well. You can get access to view all the special messages that we put on our exclusive Facebook group. That's really exclusive to our Patreon members, our co-hosts, and we've got over 50 of our past guests on there. I think, Cam, we got you on there now, too. I think we got Cam there. So anyway, it's just a great place for us to post things that we're not posting on all our other
Hey, Phil,
social
is Brady's mom still giving us $5 a month?
She is.
I think so.
Yeah, right on.
She is.
God bless Mom.
Yeah, she won one of our drawings, right?
Yeah.
She
Yes,
did,
she did,
and
actually.
I was meaning I took a video of the unboxing, so I was meaning to share that with everyone.
Oh,
She
you
loved it.
got to do that.
She loved
You got to
it.
do that.
Will
And I apologize to all of our other Patreon teammates that apparently we don't have any policy against friends and family winning prizes
We don't care.
on this show. We just do random drawings, and if Brady's mom happens to give us a little money in Patreon,
Incredible.
she's eligible too.
Incredible.
So that's pretty good. But also want to welcome everyone that's joining us in the chat. Our YouTube community has really been growing again. Also, thanks to Stormcat5, Brady Harris is ripping it on our Outbreak coverages. But if you happen to be on YouTube, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel so you just get updated every time we go live with any show, whether that's this one or any of our outbreaks or any of the other videos that we post and Brady's posting. But also feel free to chat. If you've got questions as we talk to Cam tonight, feel free to add your questions there as well. If you're a Patreon member, we'll try and pull that as well if we see it. Or if you do a super chat or something like that, we'll definitely try and get you to the top of the line. So if you are new to the show, it's happy hour. Every time we record, doesn't matter what time of day we happen to record. It's usually 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, but that changes. But it's happy hour, so it lets you know we like to have a little fun on this show and gives us a chance to introduce our guests. And I'm sorry, not our guests, but our co-hosts and who we've got with us. So I'm going to start up north with Greg Johnson, storm chaser, photographer, author. Greg, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I've got a 3-finger pour of peanut butter whiskey and Coke.
You got some heavy fingers,
Wow.
Yeah, hold on. What's 3 fingers? Like, what does that mean? Like
That's
this
five.
or that?
That's
Like
5
what?
fingers.
You put like 3 fingers worth of liquor, Brady, in the bottom of the glass, and then you pour your Coke in over top of it, and then you add ice, and
It's a loose 3 fingers,
All right.
right?
Yeah.
It's,
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
After
I like
a
that kind
while,
of
you
measurement.
can't remember how many fingers.
they tell you that if you
Yep.
measure your drinks when you're drinking at home, if you actually measure them, you don't have a drinking problem, right? So I clearly don't have a drinking problem. I measured 3 fingers.
There you go.
All right, Mark Maz Massaro, our former on-camera meteorologist. Maz, what's your 3 fingers? What do you got?
It's a land shark. No, hey, in honor of the spookiness, I've got Angry Orchard with that spooky tree.
Oh,
So it's an
very
Angry
cool.
Orchard light. Apparently, it's less
Fitting.
sugar, less filling, great taste. I don't know, something like that.
Very fitting. All right, let's hit Dina Knightley, our meteorologist and weather producer up at weather.com or down at weather.com. Dina, what do you
I
what do
got
you
this
got?
new thing. It's vodka. It's red berry, Ciroc.
You drinking
and
it
I
out of the
mixed it-
bottle?
Well, no, but I had to
You
like
know
show
you have
it
a
'cause
drinking
looks-
problem. ...
I didn't measure,
turns
so maybe
red.
I do. But I added it with cranberry, so we're
Oh.
gonna try that out. I was very excited, and
Tasty.
it looks pretty too, doesn't it? It's
It
very
does
good.
look good.
Looks
Is it
beautiful.
very berry? Very, very berry?
Berry berry. It's red berry Ciroc.
All right,
Raspberry
Brady
pie?
Harris, Stormcat 5, our meteorologist and Outbreak host. Brady, what are you drinking this evening? Nice logo in the background there.
Yeah, you know, a little spoiler alert here, guys. We're going to have a new logo dropping soon. And what you have in the background is a little taste of that. So look for that on Twitter. But I am drinking tonight. I am drinking a Lost Coast Tangerine Wheat. Apparently, you guys, I don't know where you're finding all these weather-themed beers because they just don't exist in Ohio. I think I'm the only like weather enthusiast in Columbus, except for, I think there's a Patreon member that we have in Columbus too, Phil, right?
Jungle Gems.
Your mom?
Jungle Gems.
No, it was I forget who it was that drove down from Columbus to come to the booth in Cincy.
Oh, Maddie. Yeah.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maddie and I are the only 2 weather nerds in Columbus apparently. So, but it's good to be here, y'all.
Well, very good. Well, we've also got in the background on the show, as always, Mark MJ Johnson is back there, and we want to wish him a happy birthday. It's his birthday week, so happy birthday to
Happy birthday!
MJ running the show. So those of you in the chat, spam MJ, just MJ your chat. I don't know. Brady, you got to get in a little MJ.
I know we do. We
logo.
do. We are at our limit right now with emotes, so we just need to keep getting. So hey, guys, here's what we need to do. All of our members just keep sharing our channel and get more members we get, the more emotes we get. So the MJ emote is up next, guys. So
Very good. All right,
And just to be clear, Phil, mine is the phallic Greg.
oh yeah,
emote.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I mean, how do I describe it differently? I was
legit.
trying to describe it, and how do I? I think it describes it perfectly. Anyway.
That's definitely legit. And then we've got all 3 of our Patreon VIPs and friends of the show, and really have been becoming great friends of the show. Garrett, Dan, and Angela are all here tonight. And Garrett's actually doing some chasing. He's waiting for some lightning. He's got his lightning trigger ready to roll. So they're all back in our green room as well. But I'm going to turn it over to Maz because we've got a great guest, and I'm freaking out, but also excited to talk to Cam.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cam Crosby's with us for tonight. Now, affected by both storms and the paranormal as a child, Cam became searching for similarities and how storms affect haunted locations. That in itself says a lot. Now, he's been investigating the paranormal and storm chasing for 20 years, and in his upcoming series, Para-Twisted, Storms Meet the Paranormal. It kicks off at the Stone Mansion just days after an EF3 tornado struck the town of Winchester, Indiana, back in March of this year, 2024. Welcome, Cam. So, how did it all start? It said it was as a child, but tell us about that. How does this story go, man?
Well, on the storm front, I would say that it happened during the April 18th to 19th, 1996 tornado outbreak in Illinois. It happened to be the biggest outbreak that the state of Illinois has ever seen up until this past month when that record was broken. So my town of Decatur was hit 2 nights in a row. On the 18th, tornado came through, destroyed a lot of the town. It was a fairly weak tornado, but the following night on the 19th, we had, like I said, a very large outbreak that day. Decatur was actually hit by an F3 that struck about a half mile from my house. And I remember seeing it out my back window before I actually took shelter. And as a kid, I was obviously freaked out like a lot of us were at the beginning of all this. And my bus route was actually impacted by the core of the tornado. So every day on my way to school as an elementary student, I just basically absorbed that feeling, how powerful tornadoes could be. And I went from being a scared child to somebody who actually wanted to know more about it. And my fear turned into a passion. It wasn't until later in life, though, that I realized I had lived through the biggest tornado outbreak in the state of Illinois, and it carried that record up until 2024. And simultaneously, growing up in and around haunted houses, my family owned an historic house. I had dealt with a lot of paranormal activity from the time I was able to remember. My mom would account for a lot of things that happened to me as a baby. In fact, you'll see some of her interview in a second film that I'm working on that's going to be more pertaining to my personal journey of things, separate from the Stone Mansion. But to sum it up, I had dealt with a very large outbreak from, the tornado. And then simultaneously, it's like the same night I'm dealing with these ghosts, entities, apparitions standing next to my bed, which was a fairly common occurrence. So you can imagine being a 7-8-year-old child, being impacted by severe weather, but also being impacted by what I didn't know how to explain at the time. They would come and visit me. I would have experiences at other people's houses. And I seemed to be different from my other friends because they weren't experiencing the same things that I was. So I knew that from the very beginning, I had something different about me going on.
Cam, can I ask you a question about the apparition entity or ghost or so I've never had the experience. And when you when you say something like apparition or entity, like does it look or feel like something tangible? Like is there a tangible thing standing next to the like can you, like, does it feel like you could reach out and touch it? Does it feel tangible, or is it more of a feeling or a sensation?
It depends. I've seen full-bodied apparitions, which a lot of people claim to have seen those, but I feel like everybody says that, but only a few people have actually seen the full-on, apparition. I've only seen it a few times in my whole life. It's not something that happens every day. Usually it's a shadow. It's a wispy figure. A lot of times you just don't know what you saw. Sometimes it happens so fast that your brain doesn't quite register what happened. So I would say, it depends. I mean, at times it feels like it's a solid person. Other times it feels like it's a cloud of smoke.
Cam, did you ever feel threatened, or scared of any of these apparitions?
When I was little, yeah. Mainly because I didn't know what it was, and I had, my parents telling me ghosts aren't real, like all parents do, to just keep you from freaking out and go to bed.
My parents say that.
Yeah,
like still
He
Brady
did yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. My question is, does it seem like the ghosts are like, do they like storms, or are they afraid of storms? Or like, where does the storms come into play?
See,
and like, are they? Yeah, go ahead.
that's where I'm aiming to study and research and find patterns, because we don't know. All I know is that, I mean, look at like when we were kids, we all watched the Scooby-Doo episodes where they were walking through the castle. You had the lightning going outside, just that ambience. It fit together. And it wasn't just a matter of ambience. It became like, okay, well, I've noticed that when I'm investigating the paranormal, that if there's a storm nearby or a storm had just come through, that it just seems like the activity's off the charts. And, and as a storm chaser, it's like, I feel like I've been able to absorb that same feeling while I'm out there chasing. Something a lot of paranormal investigators don't get the opportunity to feel is being out in a storm and then going into a haunted location and feeling almost that same type of frequency of, call it a barometric pressure drop or electromagnetic field. I'm not sure. I just know that there's some correlation there.
Okay, so Cam, what percentage of activity would you sort of attribute to an actual entity, and how much of it would be, for example, things that happen? I'm just using this as an example because this is the one everyone can relate to from movies and television and stuff, is like, like cupboard doors flying open and stuff flying off the shelf. How much of it is that type of situation where something weird's happening, and how much of it could you like point to and say, like, there's an entity here, there's an apparition, there's a ghost that's actually, doing something?
And see, that's another thing when it comes down to the scientific field versus the spiritual beliefs. A lot of things we don't have answers to, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I can give you all the answers, because it's a field.
No, but I mean, from your experience doing it.
From my experience doing it, again, it's the same thing of like, I could say that, yeah, a ghost did that, but I can't prove it to you.
Right.
I could say that, certain spots of the earth have, geographic ley lines where there's more energy, boasting from the land, where they may have more poltergeist activity than, 100 miles the other direction. And it could be a natural phenomenon, but it also could be that there are spirits doing it, physically, intelligently doing it. There's a residual theory as well that it's like a tape recorder playing over and over again. Happening.
Cam, what's poltergeist? That's not chicken, is it?
No.
No.
You never saw the movie, Brady?
Hold
Come
on.
on.
Brady. It's
okay.
classic
Listen, I am
movie.
not a horror movie guy because I get freaked out by this stuff. So
You can go watch
I don't
the
like
movies.
what is that term? What does that term mean?
So poltergeist, a lot of people take that term and kind of run with it, but it just means like noisy spirit. Where things just sort of move on their own without an explanation. Cupboard doors open up, like he was talking about, with no real explanation.
Got it.
So
Okay.
what other kind of paranormal activity have you seen? Like you said, you've seen like the shadows and maybe some figures, but have you seen like cupboard doors open or things fly across the room or?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything you can think of, I have seen it.
Really?
In the
Wow.
field,
What's the craziest? What's the craziest?
The craziest,
You have a spot.
the benign stuff, I would say, doors opening, when there is no absolute zero reason that it would open. And I'm talking about unlatched door handle turn, open up, not blew by the wind or a drafty house. And you can sit there and try to repetitively debunk it and over again, and there's no explanation. To me, those are the solid facts that science doesn't want to talk about.
Cam, when in 1992, my grandmother died, and my uncle took over her apartment, and she hadn't been buried yet, and she was cremated, but she hadn't been laid to rest yet. Mm-hmm. And in the apartment that he was living in, that was hers, every morning he would get up and there would be cupboard doors in the kitchen that were opened up. He would close them, go out for the day, come back, the cupboard doors are open. And this went on and on and on and on. That winter, she got laid to rest, and all of that stopped. And our family is like convinced that she was there and saying, "Don't you dare forget about me." And
Wow.
it was something that in our family, I mean, it's just, it's like, it's not even talked about jokingly or anything. I mean, that's a real a phenomenon that happened. I mean, I can't explain it, and I'm, from what you're saying, you can't explain that either. But you've witnessed that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've noticed that when family members pass or a friend passes really close to them, usually that 24 to 48 hours or maybe a couple weeks, you'll notice a lot more activity happen as if it's like a final goodbye or a way to symbolize like, hey, I'm okay, but I'm moving on now or whatever. And then you won't see or hear from them ever again or very rarely. I've had a lot of residential cases where they'll have things flare up right after a death, and then it goes quiet, and then they just go on about their lives. So,
what about institutions?
Ooh, I don't go near those.
What do you
Like,
mean?
well, like, I mean, everyone. It seems like every town, every city has a story about an old hospital or an old psych facility or a tuberculosis hospital or something like that where people died or they were held captive or kept confined. Do those places have more spiritual activity? And in this show, have you guys investigated any of those types of facilities?
That's what they call them in Canada, by the way, Cam. They call them institutions. Here, it's probably hospital. It's just declare it like
7-Eleven,
interpret. I'm an interpreter.
So, again, that's another deep topic because it's a lot of theories, but I've noticed that the sanatoriums, the prisons, the places where you have a lot of just hopelessness, a lot of people who went there against their will, had no other family, had nowhere else to go. It just, the activity is off the charts. I actually went to the Indiana State Sanatorium and went there by myself overnight to investigate. And it's a massive complex, underground tunnels, everything. And the amount of activity that I captured there was unlike anywhere else I've ever been. And, you can say it's the size of it, whatever. But to me, it's like you go to these places, Ashmore States, here in Illinois, another place that just is loaded with activity because these are poor farms, they're psychiatric facilities. They are essentially a home for people who didn't have a home, who didn't have families. In fact, Ashmore States is where they would drop people off who were poor, their parents died, whatever, and they would just forget about them. So it became their home. So when you say institutions or whatever like that, I mean, that's all they ever knew.
Cam, when you say activity, are you using like equipment, instruments? Like for example, I remember back in the olden days of meteorology, an AM radio was a great way to detect lightning, not in one specific direction, just being out there from the static. Is there stuff that you use to pick up activity?
Yeah. So paranormal investigations, we try to use whatever will give us pattern results. There's a lot of gimmicky stuff out there now that will just give you false positives. Walkie-talkies will set them off, things like that. So I try to steer clear from a lot of that stuff unless I know it's a very controlled environment. So we work with like REM pods, the SB7 Spirit Box, things like that I know I can control in a better environment. So we do use a lot of that stuff, but again, going back to the storm theory as well, I've noticed that lightning will set off our REM pods on cue. I mean, as soon as that lightning, a CG hits outside the building, the REM pods are going off, and I mean, they hit really hard and will stay on for a bit. So that sort of, gearing more towards the paratwisted concept of kind of merging these two. Well, if lightning's setting off the same equipment that the ghosts are setting off, then what is this blending? What's the common denominator there? That is it the electromagnetic fields? Is it the drop in barometric pressure? We don't know. So
no, go ahead, Ken.
No, I'm just wrapping that point up of yes, the equipment is useful, but we have to watch how and when it's used.
Which is good. And I want to follow that thread because I think that's, that certainly caught my attention when I saw that you were putting Paratwisted together and everything else, was your combination of two very intriguing things, right? Storm chasing, paranormal investigation. That's crazy. I mean, two crazy things that the outside world think, God, you're a storm chaser, or oh my God, you're a paranormal investigator. So I guess what for you brought those two things together? Like how did that part start?
When I was a kid, I have held on to this for most of my life, and it was a matter of, I want to protect the concept. I don't want it to be done the wrong way. And it's coming from personal experience. It's not from like, hey, I just had a great idea one day and I want to produce to be different, to be edgy. It's like, this is my life. So I have protected it. When it started, when I was a kid, and then I started doing the paranormal investigations, producing films and, crappy little weather videos and just doing whatever to learn production. And I was like, you know what, I'm finally ready. I think I'm going to take the leap and produce this thing myself. I have had, networks reach out and want to talk, but it's always the same thing. They want to water it down, or they want me to sell the concept to them. And then from there, it's like, who knows what's going to happen. They could take it and completely water it down, bring somebody else in to do it. And, for me, it's like, I just wanted to do this the right way because I have held on to it my whole life.
Cam, did you find that there's more people like, we know storm chasing, there's like a whole community of storm chasers. So is there a community of people like you who have both the storm chasing and paranormal? Like, I'm sure there's a paranormal community, that get into it, but to have both of those seems so unique.
Yeah, I grew up a weird kid. Like, I was the one isolated by experience.
Oh, come on, Cam.
I think we all did.
Cam, were you carrying
all
a belt
grown up
around with
weird.
you? And,
Cam, look at my
that kind of
background.
stuff?
I mean, we've all grown
Yeah.
up weird, my friend.
Yeah, my background's not as cool as his, but
It's weird.
but no, I mean, like I said, it just I think that, I know that I'm the original. I'm the one who started it. I'm the one who came on the scene with it the first. I mean, there's going to be copycats. There's going to be people say, oh, I've been doing it just as long, or, and I'm not here for an ego trip or nothing, but I know for a fact that this started as a kid. My mom for sure could back it up and say, yeah, he's been in this his entire life. It's, and like I said, it's not an ego trip, but it's something that I stand pride on, knowing that this is my life and I'm the guy to do it.
Now, you've been doing this like 20 years. Do you still get like freaked out? Or you're like, whoa, that one was, whoa.
I think because I've been in it so long and because I have dedicated my life to something, and I don't feel like, to me, the normal feels like the nightmare. Daily life feels like the weird thing. Being out in storms is freedom for me. That's my breathing time where I can just relax and let everything else go. Paranormal investigations is like, it's time to really shut everything down and focus on what I have here inside this enormous dark building where I'm often by myself.
Cam, before we go to break, we got one more question. This is coming from one of our good friends online. Fuzzy wanted to know, do you think that the elementary schools in Moore, Oklahoma, that were destroyed by the EF5 tornado in 20, I believe that was 2013. What do you think about how haunted they would be, or how much paranormal activity would be going on there?
Hopefully none, because the children, I hope that they are where they're meant to be, supposed to be, and not just trapped in some endless loop inside of an elementary school. That's the kind of thing that, I just hope not. Yeah. Could the energy be there? For sure. Could other spirits show up there? For sure. I believe that. I believe that a lot of these places we go to, you don't just go there and there's the resident, Bob up in the second floor, and he's the only person you're going to experience from 1940. I believe that the more you communicate inside these places, it's like a portal. It's like you're opening up a doorway and anything could come through.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to ask Carly's question about tornadoes, do they have any impacts on ghosts? I think we're going to find out about the Paratwisted series that Cam is doing as well. So we'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
The Stormfront Freaks is now available on the Weather Store. Come shop our catalog of shirts, hats, and hoodies, all with our Stormfront Freaks logo and Outbreak logo. Plus, you'll find all your other favorite weather geek and storm chasing gear, footwear, and accessories. Visit the Weather Store at thewxstore.com, the exclusive supplier of the Stormfront Freaks.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right, welcome back to the show. So we've got Cam Crosby here, and again, really an interesting, to me, really interesting combination of paranormal investigating and storm chasing. And I know, Cam, you've got a video series coming up called Paratwisted, and I think it ties in obviously your paranormal work as well as your interest in storms and storm chasing. I guess before we jump into what the series is all about, there is, to me, I've heard a lot of this, and from our listeners as we've kind of prepared to have you on the show, but really trying to find out what kind of impacts do storms have on your paranormal investigations and apparitions. And I guess in your experience, have you seen any impact from storms?
So the theory is that a storm will energize an atmosphere. I think we've all felt that being just under them. You feel that energy. It's not just adrenaline. There's something else going on there. There's scientists that try to study, the air's ionized, or it's charged with electromagnetic fields, or, and like I have to kind of jump around here. A very interesting friend from Winchester who I met there. Her name's Melissa. She has a very rare brain disorder. And she noticed that whenever it's going to be a heavy rain, that she starts to have this situation go on with her brain, where she will get tired, she'll get weak, she'll dizzy, she'll pass out. I think it's like Chiari Mountain something. I don't know. It's a weird word, but she can literally like detect when it's getting ready to storm because the barometric pressure will drop. So to me, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the energy of a storm can actually be detected by our bodies, and we can also measure what it's doing to the atmosphere as well.
Like, why would we be any different than animals, right? Like, people say it all the time. Animals can tell when something's about to happen in the atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's why, but see, nature is so in tune with itself. We are so distracted. If we were in tune like the natives, like the ancients, they knew when it was going to storm as well. But see, we're now relying on our weather apps and, our forecast maps and things like that. So
the weather apps aren't very good either. So,
But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, it's just a matter of charging up the atmosphere. And if the location, I've noticed more of the limestone built locations tend to harbor that energy. And that's backed up by science, that limestone can harbor energy. So to me, that's the correlation, is the storm will energize the atmosphere, and then potentially these spirits will feed off of it.
Wow, you just said the limestone, because my question was like, what's the one location you felt the most paranormal activity?
So I would say, of all the years I've investigated, it was the Bowen building at the Peoria State Hospital. It's since been demolished, but it was made of pretty much pure limestone. Again, it had the underground tunnels. It was part of a very large cottage system. But one of the remaining buildings was the Bowen building, and you can Google it. It looks like a castle. It's really cool looking. But we had so much activity there that I wouldn't go there and there would be a quiet night. It was every single time I'd go, something would happen. And I believe it had a lot to do with that limestone. Just it was like a barrier of limestone around the entire thing.
What is it? What's with the limestone? Because I'm not super familiar with that. Maybe I'm out of the loop, but what's the science? Anybody with limestone?
I mean, I can't tell you exactly, but I just know that, again, if you're looking at it from a repetition pattern aspect, we've noticed that in the paranormal community, at least, that the limestone buildings tend to be more active than, like a traditional brick or a wood framed house or whatever.
Cam, so I have a quick question about the series. So like, what is, and without like, I don't want to, spoil the episodes or anything like that, but just give what's like the basic plot of like an episode, right? Is it like, okay, and really maybe talk more about like the average life in a day too, of like, okay, we get a storm, then we get to the location, then we do this, we do that. I think that'd be really interesting to just see like what's like the normal life in a day with like the storm plus then the ghosts.
So I want to push this as far as it can possibly go. Of course, that boils down to funding and things like that, but the concept of Paratwisted, with like when I went to the Winchester, the Stone Mansion there in Winchester, that was like a tornado hit the house. Let's go see how active it is afterwards. The full concept of Paratwisted is going to be a lot more than that, because you're going to see me actually forecasting and chasing a potential outbreak, and it's not going to be just me. Like I plan to have hopefully a meteorologist with me, maybe a couple chase partners in a different vehicle, to just get more coverage of the storm. And my whole concept is going to be, we're going to have a haunted location in mind and within that outbreak zone somewhere. And then once the tornado, storm, whatever passes by, hopefully doesn't destroy the location, but gets relatively close to it, we go in either the same night or the next day and sort of study the environment, see what the activity's like. But I'm jumping ahead of myself because I want to go into this location the day before the outbreak happens and just get a baseline and see like, okay, here's the electromagnetic reading, here's whatever, and then gauge that level and that activity and see what it looks like the night of the storm or the next day. And
how do you determine? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do you determine? Like, is there? This is gonna sound weird. Is there like a registry of haunted houses around the nation? I mean, if you're seeing a front coming in, looks like this area. Are you going? We're gonna target, this area that's had paranormal activity or haunted house. I mean, how do you decide?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of locations out there that, I mean, you pick a state, you pick a town, they probably have some location, but there's a lot of high profile places that do overnight investigations and will allow people to come in and do stuff. And there's private owners as well. You just have to know who you're talking to. So to me, it would be a very well orchestrated thing. It wouldn't be just some random place. And the way we have it now, we can forecast an outbreak several days in advance. I would reach out to the owner and say, hey, this system's coming through. It looks like it could be pretty significant. We want to book this location. Maybe we'll book 2 locations just in case it misses or it's in a different state. And then go in and investigate it with the crew and see what it's like before the storm hits. And then, like I said, go back in afterwards and see the difference.
Cam, I've got a picture here of the Bowen building you were talking about, and you had mentioned it was one of the most haunted places you've been.
Wow!
Tell us a story. I mean, this looks like a haunted building.
Is that all limestone?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, except for the roof and the iron holding it up. But
so tell us an experience that you had here.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast on that building. It's a special place, and it'll always be special to me because it's not only where I produced my first film, but it's just like, it was like a family environment there. But but the building itself, again, all limestone, had underground tunnels where there was more darker energy down there. Caught some very weird things on camera down there. That actually is a good example of how we can use the spirit box, because inside that building we would get zero radio signal. No radio stations would penetrate those walls. We wouldn't get cell service. So whenever we were getting things happening on the equipment, we knew
you knew it was coming from in there.
Yeah, and especially in those tunnels.
What's a spirit box?
So a spirit box is like the PSP-7 that I use is basically like a broken radio. Remove the antenna and it'll sweep radio frequencies really fast to where you won't, a typical radio, you can scroll through the channels as fast as you want. You won't be able to do it as fast as this does. So I usually do like a reverse sweep rate through it. And so it's using more of the white noise static, and the words will sort of bleed through. And I've had full sentences come through over multiple channels to where we know like it's the same voice over 20 stations, where we know it's not an AM station coming through and it's some DJ talking, especially in somewhere like the Bowen building.
So Brady, you need to go watch Poltergeist and watch the whole TV thing.
No,
so
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
Brady,
be
you
honest. I don't do horror movies. Literally, ever since I watched Independence Day when I was like 10, I have not done it.
Independence Day is not a horror movie. You need to do a deep dive into 80s horror flicks. You know, Amityville Horror,
Freddy Krueger,
Poltergeist.
You're proving my point. I literally think Independence Day is a horror movie, and clearly it's not. So I'm telling you, I just can't do it. I won't be able to. Even this conversation, it's like, you know what? I'm going to turn all my lights on tonight. God. Not going to sleep. I don't know if anyone in the chat's the same way, but it's crazy.
Like, to cut in here for a second, I want to take in skeptics as well to these locations in Paratwisted. I have a medium that's in Oregon. Her name's Mika. She's going to be coming in after college as well. So I'm going to have a psychic medium with me. I'll have, the investigation will be taken care of with paranormal investigators. I want skeptics in there, and I want people who are just purely scientific minded that don't believe. Because I want to hit this from every aspect possible. I want to prove somehow this scientific aspect, as well as from people who believe and don't believe.
So I'll tell you, Cam, it's certainly a very bold go at trying to not only time the storms, but also find a location in the path of these storms. Like, good luck on that. I wish you, because that's hard. I mean, that's hard, and I can imagine, that's something that's going to be in the works for a while. You're not going to pick like, all right, 2025, here's what we're going to do, and we're going to make something out of it. But tell us, before we kind of move on, with Paratwisted, I guess, what's your plan with when that's released, and what's your overall vision of that? How many episodes? Just give us a little overview of Paratwisted.
So again, with the full concept of Paratwisted, once it's fully assembled and we see what kind of funding we're working with, then that will sort of, dictate what I'm going to be able to do and how many episodes and how long we're going to be on the road. Can we make it a full 3-month long chase, 2-3 months, and then also do this, the investigating as well. With the Stone Mansion episode coming out, I'm going to release that in October of this year. And that's just going to kind of give a baseline of what this is really about. You're going to have more of a background on me, because it is the first time anybody's going to be able to see me and what this all is. And they're going to want to know, how did this start, like you're asking me now. So you're going to kind of get all that in this first episode. And then I'm going to expand upon that, hopefully next year when everything's in place.
So what's your do you have a big vision for hoping to get this picked up? Are you doing any kind of marketing of this to maybe try and help it get picked up by a bigger network?
That's what he's doing right now,
service?
Phil. He's got this on Stormfront Freaks. This is gonna go viral now with this audience.
Like I said at the beginning, number one thing to me is staying real. I don't want to, and I won't fake anything. First of all, a lot of these networks will just, you name the ghost hunting show, they faked evidence. I don't care who they are. And it comes down from production, because it's like, well, we're having a slow night, we need ratings. Let's just do something and get out of here. It's happened to all of them, whether they want to do it or not. So that's my.
Is that just because of pressure? Is that pressure where they're like, we just gotta have something happen?
Yeah, and then you got to think about it too with a lot of these guys. They have families at home, and they're on the road 2, 3, 4 months filming these seasons. They just want to go home. They're burnt out. They're tired, and sometimes, I mean, maybe their morals are in question, but also they may just say, whatever, let's just do this and get out of here, go home. I'm done with this. I've talked to some of them personally who they don't want to fake things, but they have a contract. They don't want to get canceled. They're trying to build their thing, and they just do what they do. Doesn't mean they fake everything, but it happens. And I don't want that. I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make this legitimate, real. And I think we're at a time right now where we don't need the networks. We don't need them. And in fact, we might be better off without them. I mean, yeah, they could get us the funding. They could get us the fan base, the recognition to be able to open up more doorways. But at the same time, it's like, then you're going to run the risk of everything I just mentioned. So if I could do this independently, I will.
Cam, how far into Paratwisted have you gotten? Like, have you gotten some shows done and produced and ready to go, or are you trying to finish a whole season first, or what's your plan?
So the Stone Mansion episode will be out in October. That's just going to give people a kind of glimpse of what this thing is. And again, it's not fully, but it's just going to give you a baseline of what this is, who I am. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to assemble everything, hopefully over the winter, heading into spring. So if we can get the resources, get the funding, whether that be through like a Kickstarter or an investment or whatever we got to do, pull resources together ourselves and get this thing on the road to where I can say, hey, give me 3 months of expenses and we'll bring you back an entire season. Then I could work on packaging up and hopefully have it out later that year of 2025 and ready to go, where people could sit down and watch, 4, 5, 6 episodes in a row, as opposed to just dumping all my resources into one episode.
So I'll tell you this, Cam, I'm enough in the middle. I'm not a skeptic, not a believer. So I'm kind of in the middle, which is why this stuff freaks me out. So I'm kind of like Brady. I don't even know if I have the guts to watch it, but it intrigues the heck out of me. And so this has been very fun and certainly intriguing conversation. But that's the sound. It's time for our lightning round. So Cam, this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions. We always get to play with our guest. And tonight, flashy, brilliant.
They're brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah,
guys.
I don't know. We'll see. But tonight we're just playing Freak Me Out ghost movies, or just Freak Me Out ghosts. Yeah, so I'm so this is freak. So here's the thing: we like to always add a little pop culture to the games we like to play. And so I thought this was very fitting because you're a creator, you're a video and film creator, and a paranormal investigator. So these are the top movie ghosts of all time, according to comic book resources. So top movie ghosts of all time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of read a small little sentence about this ghost or this character that is in a movie. I don't want to know the name of the movie. I want to see if you know the name of the ghost. Oh. And if for any chance you're struggling a little bit, we always kind of say, our co-host can kind of chime in if they maybe have a guess. I always encourage our guests not to listen to them, but, they come through sometimes.
I just have a sneaking feeling that Cam's not going to need our help on this one.
All right, so here's my question. Do you want to start at 1 and go to 10, or start at 10 and go to 1?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Yep.
Start at 1.
All right, we're starting at 1.
Yeah.
So here we go. So appearing at the last stroke of 12, the witching hour, the final ghost is the one that finally knocks some empathy into Ebenezer Scrooge. Name the ghost.
Oh. Read it again.
Is this like Christmas stuff?
Appearing at the last stroke of 12, the
I
witching
can help
hour.
you, Cam.
The final ghost is the one that finally knocks some empathy into Ebenezer Scrooge. Who is that ghost?
Okay.
I would know it if I wasn't doing this.
Okay.
Go ahead, Greg.
Isn't it Ghost of Christmas Future?
Yeah.
No,
What?
I need more specifics.
Oh, I was
You
going
mean
to
like
say
a
the
name?
same thing.
Like
A
Bob?
cooked goose
No.
for everyone.
I don't need the
cooked
name.
goose.
But it's not the ghost of Christmas future.
Is it Death?
It's the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Oh,
Come on.
We're
It's
close.
the
Wait,
Christmas
alright.
like it's
That's
the Christmas
future.
Okay.
story.
That's
Like you
future.
got to get that right.
All
There's been like
right.
8 movies on that. All right, number 2, Cam. This is the obnoxious ghost from the netherworld who specializes in bioexorcism or scaring away the living. You say his name 3 times.
Yeah, you making that easy. That's Beetlejuice.
Yeah, you got it,
Okay.
brother. You got it. All right. Number 3, Brady. This is still for Cam, but I'm just saying Brady because he obviously doesn't know. Poltergeist shocked audiences with terrifying apparitions in ghastly forms, but was outdone by the sequel with a very human-looking ghost. What was the name of that ghost in the sequel?
This one's Bob.
Ooh, that one I can't even
Jeff.
remember.
I can't even put a visual with that one. So whoever
Did
wants
you
to
see
answer.
it? Did you see Poltergeist 2 or?
I don't think I saw the second one.
I don't
All
know
right.
if I
So that it was Reverend Henry Kane.
Oh, I
Reverend
had no
Henry
idea.
Kane.
I would have never
That
got
was
that.
number 3. Take all your complaints to comic book resources. All right, number 4. This is a Muggle-born witch who died at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and now haunts the second-floor girls' lavatory. Name the number 4 ghost of all time.
Man,
So
I
this is
remember her
like-
being in the bathroom too.
This is Harry Potter stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're going down the right path.
Yeah, you're out of my range
Isn't
again.
it the screamy one? She's like
Oh, it's the whiny one.
She's a witch.
She's all whiny.
No,
Yeah,
she's like
you're right.
Oh,
screaming.
yeah, it's in the chat.
It's
in-
a little
yeah.
more Maz. But,
Moaning Myrtle.
There you go.
That is Moaning Myrtle. You are correct.
Didn't even give Cam
Nice.
a chance on that one.
I don't
All right,
do
here we go.
that.
Number
Yeah, I don't do
5. This is the gluttonous ghost who earned its reputation by sliming Dr. Venkman.
Oh,
What's
he-
the name of
he
that
almost gave it away.
ghost?
It's Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
Ghostbusters.
You got that? Again, you're on the
Who
right
you gonna
track. You know the
call?
movie. What's the name of that ghost? Who can help him out?
Slime something. Slimer.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Slimer. Slimer.
Slimer.
All right, all right.
Very good. All right, you had it. You knew what it was. All right, number 6. This was a girl with scary psychic abilities who was sealed in a well and left to die by her father. What top movie ghost of all time is this?
I
know
can't
that
remember
one
her
too.
name though.
Yeah, it's,
I'll
it's
give
the
you a
name of-
hint. It's from The Ring.
Oh.
The movie The Ring. Never saw
I got
it. I
nothing.
don't watch a lot of
I got
horror shows.
We're not
Nothing.
talking about Lord of
I
the
knew
Rings,
it was
right?
the ring. I didn't even know she had a name. It was just the hair.
Yeah, that one's tough. I went and saw that when it debuted in the theaters too, and I've been a fan of that movie, but yeah, I don't know. That
All right, it's Sadako Yamamura.
yeah,
Oh,
something
as
weird.
if somebody was going to get that.
Yeah, that's a tough
Hey.
one.
Top 10 movie ghosts of all time, Greg.
What was the middle name? What was the middle name on that?
I didn't catch that. Number 7 had been floating around in some form or another since medieval times before Washington Irving made an icon of him.
Ooh.
Who is this ghost? It's been in multiple movies.
Washington Irving.
Oh my god, I have no idea.
I have a guess at this after Cam goes, but
The only thing that's familiar with that is Washington Irving. I don't know what that is, but it
This
sounds.
is classic. Think classic story. Has been turned into cartoon animated films. Has been turned into.
I think Greg is having a stroke. Greg
Greg's
is
working
having
on
a
it.
stroke.
He's choking.
Someone
That's
call
the
the
universal
ambulance.
sign for choking.
Yeah. Greg, if you got
So
it, go.
icky.
I don't know if I got it, but I have a guess. Phil, is it the Headless Horseman?
Oh,
It is
good
the Headless
job,
Horseman.
Greg.
The
Where does head
Headless
go?
Horseman. Good job. I
Nice.
thut you were choking there, but I'm
No,
glad
I was
it's
know,
like,
I was like-
I was like
He's
lifting
detaching
my-
his head.
detached in
All
my
right,
head, yeah.
a couple more here. Number 8 of all time. These ghosts are the ghosts of the formerly caretaker of the Overland Hotel who went mad and murdered his family.
Yikes. See, this is why I can't do ghosts. That's just freaky. Like
This is from a movie. So this is 2. These ghosts are actually 2. They're twins from the movie The Shining.
The Shining, but the two
The
girls.
name of those twins?
The two girls.
Remember the kid
Hard.
Red Rum.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's okay. Anybody know the name of the twins?
No, I didn't even know they had names.
The Grady
is it
twins.
the Olsen twins, Phil?
It's not the Olsen twins.
Okay.
Although they're a little
Grady.
scary too, Brady.
Just a little bit.
They are scary too. All right, number 9. We got 2 left. Number 9 isn't an evil spirit or terrifying poltergeist, just a regular guy who happened to be dead. The thing is, he doesn't know he's dead, and the audience wasn't supposed to know that fact either.
Oh, right.
Do you know
Classic.
the name of this ghost?
The ghost name is Bruce Willis.
You know what?
That is.
I'm going to give that to you. He played Malcolm Crowe, but yes, it was Bruce Willis from The Sixth Sense. Good job. All right, last one, brother. You better get this. Like this is 10, but this is the softball of all softballs.
All right.
I'm setting you up.
I know it.
So number 10 is a rebel spirit who would rather make friends, which is why he's known as the friendly ghost.
Cam.
Casper.
Way to finish strong.
Even
Well done, my
Casper's,
friend.
Even Casper's scary. I don't know. Because he's kind of friendly, but then there's like a side of him that's like, I don't know.
He's
you know,
sketchy.
I don't know.
He's a sketchy dude.
He's sketchy. Yes, Cam.
So, Cam, do us a favor and tell us how can people find you or follow you on social media, and more importantly, when and where can they see Paratwisted?
So I just pretty much launched the YouTube channel Paratwisted. So you can just type that in, Paratwisted, all one word. Or you can find me on Facebook, Cam Crosby. It's the official page for me. There will be a Facebook page as well for Paratwisted. Everything's been launched this year. So it's all, you're watching me basically develop this as it goes.
It's cool.
That's
Very
cool.
good. Well, Cam, I'll tell you what, this has been everything I was hoping it would be. Very extremely interesting. I just love how you're pulling together two really out there things, right?
Yeah,
Paranormal activity and investigating, storm chasing. You've pulled that together, and really, I guarantee you, I'm going to watch this. I get
totally
freaked out by
watching
stuff,
this.
but I'm totally watching it.
You need to come out with me.
I'll tell you what, I heard someone said in the chat that Reed
You had
asked
asked
for
Reed,
an invite.
Yeah. So
That would be.
So the guy that he's been chasing around with, Edgar,
Yeah.
I didn't know him at the time, but I had just intercepted a tornado up in Table Grove, Illinois, last year, and he was right next to me helping me clear debris off the road and kind of searching through the houses, seeing if there's anybody hurt. And it wasn't until he joined up with Reed, I was like, hey, that's Edgar. I didn't even know who he was. So I had tagged Edgar in one of the still shots from, that's in Paratwisted, because I had showed a video of us walking through Table Grove. And so basically I said to Edgar, I said, hey, let Reed know I want to see him intercept a ghost.
I want to see that. I
do too.
I think
feel like
I
if
think
you're
he's a
out when
streamer.
we're out, we definitely have to connect because we're
I would
following.
agree. And I can just imagine like you guys walking into a room and Reed's like, ghost, and I was like, get down. There'd be a lot of yelling.
We're gonna throw
It'd be
Brady
awesome.
down a storm cellar just to see how he
Oh,
reacts.
don't do that. Don't do
Dina, I'll
that.
tell you what, like if we meet Cam out there, I'll be the one chasing the storms for him while you're in the facility that is haunted and
Yeah.
taking
I
the
would
readings.
go.
Weird.
I would
Josh,
go.
I think,
Dina,
is
I'm
staying
with
away.
you. I'm with you,
I'd
Dina.
go.
So
Yeah.
Brady and Filthy are gonna go, and they're gonna do the storm part. You
go to
and me,
Dairy
Dina,
Queen.
we're gonna do the ghost part.
Yeah, I'll go. I swear to God, 100% I'll go.
This is great. So again, Cam, thanks. We're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna be right back with our weather fools. And you're never supposed to read the comments, but we're gonna talk about some of the comments from the movie Twisters when we return. So be right back. Great job, Cam. That was
that was great, Cam.
Good stuff. Loved it.
Fun.
I appreciate it.
That was good. So here's a couple things I want to do here. So this is what we call our raw break. We usually edit this out of the actual podcast, but we just kind of have a little fun. It's good behind the scenes stuff for the people watching, those of you in the chat. But we've got Garrett, Angela, and Dan, friends of the show that have been hanging out in the green room. I always want to give them a chance to ask questions because they've always got some good ones as well. So,
and Phil, I can guarantee Angela is on top of this because I think she's a huge fan.
So, and I'm going to finish with her because of that. But Dan, I'm going to start with you. Any questions for Cam after our conversation?
No, I don't really have a question right now. I did find the conversation really interesting, and I'm really interested to see what Angela's got to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're setting up Angela. Garrett, I know is storm chasing. I don't know if Garrett, if you're in a position to ask any questions. I'm guessing not. He's muted, and I don't see his video, so he's busy. He's working really hard while his lightning trigger does all the photography taking.
He was getting some good shots earlier.
Greg,
I was seeing him.
He was telling me, Greg, he's using lightning. What was he using? Not the
Light-
bug and not the trigger.
The
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
no,
Can't remember what it was, but
that was,
another one.
yeah.
McQueen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay.
The
It's like a lightning
McQueen.
round. Greg, name that other lightning trigger that's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
bug
yeah.
and not the trigger for. All right, Angela. All right, we're saving it for you, Angela. If you got a couple questions, I know you're interested to ask Cam. What do you got?
No, I feel like I'm pretty sensitive to the paranormal. Like I'm pretty sure I grew up in a house that was imprinted. But my main question, I answered this earlier, or I asked this earlier in the chat, was so during storms, you always hear people say, "Oh, I was doing this, but something was drawing me a different way," and that ends up saving their lives. Or you have like in Joplin, you have like the butterfly people and stuff. And I know there's like a line where that can be spiritual, but I also feel like that could also be a little paranormal, and was wondering your thoughts on that.
I would say it's all connected. It's also about your faith, whatever you believe. If you believe you have protection with you, then chances are it'll probably manifest, or you're going to allow that into your life in some kind of way, however way it manifests. Do I believe there are guardian spirits? Yeah. I'm not particularly religious or anything. I believe in God and things like that, but I see it in a very different way than a lot of people. And so I believe there's a hierarchy of spirits. I believe there's a hierarchy of kind of the angelic realm, spirit guides, things like that. So there's a good chance that if you avoided an accident or had something divinely protecting you, usually trust your gut instinct on what that was. That's what I tell people. Whatever you feel in that moment.
Angela, you got anything else?
Angela, before you ask your question, Angela, you were saying in the chat that you're going to a place called Crescent Hotel.
Yeah, I'm going to the Crescent Hotel on Saturday.
What is
to do their
that?
Ghost tour.
What is that?
Supposedly it's a haunted hotel in Eureka
And you're
Springs.
staying there overnight?
No, I'm just doing the ghost tour.
Where?
Okay.
Where is this?
Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
Are you familiar with it, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay. What's
Is
the
it a tourist
SPC
trap,
outlook
or
look
is
like?
I would say just be careful investigating with a group of people or like public investigations, because typically and a lot of these are obviously paid. So if you got a tour guide or somebody in there kind of hyping up the place, chances are they'll probably do something to make sure you guys have a good experience to get your money's worth. So just, if you want to have legitimate paranormal experiences, I would say book the place overnight by yourself.
No.
My God. Or with a group of people that you can trust.
Oh my
So
God.
I do kind of have a third question, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, go. I think you got some good ones.
So I've been this is kind of unrelated to like the storms and stuff, but I've been going through like the Warrens case files.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on the Warrens?
50-50 because they have been caught lying about certain things. Ed Warren, when I first got into studying demonology, he was a big influence on my life. And when I went through my own sort of dark chapter of my life and went through some of the more darker experiences in my life, he was a mentor from afar until he passed. I would, again, it's just 50-50. Lorraine, same thing. She was a psychic, sense of, medium, but her and Ed, they had some things going on that were a little sketchy, and you can research that on your own time. But a lot of the cases they went to were the real deal, but some of them were hyped up and selling books, and it is what it is.
Do you have a favorite case of theirs?
Not really. I think if anything, there was a couple residential cases that doesn't get the movies made about them that were more genuine, that didn't involve dolls, and they're not the Annabelle dolls, not the Conjuring house. They had not Amity, because that turned out to be just ridiculous as well. But they had done a lot of residential cases that were, the activity was off the charts, and I mean, to me, that's more scary than anything they produced in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Was Amity bogus?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you're crushing Maz's dreams here, Cam.
I mean, is it haunted? Probably, but it wasn't what they, and once Hollywood got a hold of it, it's, good luck.
Yeah, right.
MJ, birthday boy, you got anything for Cam?
No, I'm good. It's very, very.
MJ, we're gonna have to throw you. Are you throwing a banger, MJ? We need to talk
no,
about that. We need to.
No, I don't count. I don't really count them anymore.
We'll talk about that. Hey, and also, guys, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Price is All Right. He's gifted 5 Stormfront Freaks memberships, so that is huge. Price is All Right. Thank you very much. And he also got Ginger Ninja in the chat tonight, who is a legend in his own respects. We also got Tom F. that's becoming a new YouTube member as well. So Tom F. actually is on part of Vince's team. So Tom, thank you as well. You are a G. You are an OG. Welcome to the Stormfront Freak family.
Sweet. So Cam, can you do us a quick soundbite favor? And if you can just say, this is paranormal investigator and storm chaser Cam Crosby, and this is the Stormfront Freaks.
Okay, give me a second to say that in my head.
That's fine.
Say it again for me one more time.
I mean, I whatever you want to list as your title, because you've done all kinds of stuff, but you can just say, hi, this is paranormal investigator and storm chaser Cam Crosby, and this is the Stormfront Freaks.
Okay. This is storm chaser and paranormal investigator Cam Crosby, and this is the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Beautiful. Good job,
dude,
man.
You killed it.
Thanks, Cam.
Awesome.
So Cam, here's the deal. So we always invite our guests, hey, if you want to stick around for these last couple of segments that we do in the show, you're welcome to do that, and you can now comment and joke and whatever you want. You're part of the peanut gallery. But if you got to go, I respect that as well, and you can go as well. So it's really up to you. If you want to stick around, you're welcome.
I'm here to hang out. I cleared my schedule, so whatever you guys want to do.
Love it, man. Stick around. Stick around.
That's the right answer, Cam. If you would have left, we would have talked shit about you.
You're gonna do that anyway. You're gonna do it anyways.
Now you're a freak like us.
You'd be like, that guy was weird. That was a weird guy.
Dude. Honestly, Cam, this is
awesome.
This was everything. This was everything I expected. Like I honestly, I can't remember where I saw what you were doing, but when I saw that, I was like, this is perfect for our show. We love stuff that's out there and talking about that stuff, because that's what we are. Like, we're a bunch of freaks too, and this is all interesting. Like, interesting as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know we could cuss.
Well, this part doesn't go on the podcast. So
yeah, MJ edits this out. MJ likes it when we don't cuss, but it happens.
Yeah, I do.
It happens.
I drop
now
a
I
few
have to do
F-bombs
an-
here there, so don't
Well,
worry.
we have to
Dina's
adjust
done
our
it.
rating on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Oh,
Maz
no.
Maz has got the potty mouth in the group. He's like
What are you talking about?
Totally.
He's dropping F-bombs all the time.
Man.
Well, your name is filthy, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, folks. Coming out of the break, MJ is gonna play a couple more, just a couple quick commercial videos, and then play the Hank Drive Under the Moon video, and then we'll come into Weather Fools, play the Weather Fools video. Brady, unmute yourself. You can introduce Weather Fools, and then who's got them?
Dina has 2. Greg's got 2. You've got 5. I have them queued
5?
up. Dina.
5.
Oh my
It's
god!
been
Yeah,
guys.
I
We
have
haven't
them-
done Weather Fools for
Phil,
a couple
give me one.
couple
Give me
episodes.
one. I'll take one from you. Give me one.
No.
It's,
Oh,
I have
come
them
on.
queued up. Dina,
No.
Phil, Greg.
You gotta come up with your own, buddy. I'm
Dude,
not.
my
You're,
entire okay.
you're a
everyone's chat-
content creator. Come on,
Hey,
come up with
my
this
entire
shit.
Twitter
Hey, Phil,
timeline
dude.
is just people spamming me their cats. Literally, my
Phil-
whole Twitter time.
Hey, you get what you ask for, brother. You get
Phil,
what you
pick up
ask
my
for.
dry cleaning too, Phil.
I know.
All right.
Can you do,
All
can
right,
you do
I've
my
got 'em.
laundry? Can you make my
I've
bed?
got 'em
Phil?
queued up.
My bed, please.
Okay,
Order.
so let's go over this.
Here's the
Don't read
order. Here's the
Twisters
order.
comments.
MJ's
I've
got
'em
it.
queued
Listen to
up.
MJ.
I've got them queued up. Dina, Phil, Greg.
Okay.
Brady, you got
So
that?
Dina's 2, Phil's 5, Greg's 2.
And
Phil.
guys, just I don't know if we've mentioned this here before, and Cam, MJ's going to play a short, about 30 seconds of video, "Drive Under the Moon" by Hank Schema. If you guys have never watched the full video, or Shima, if you've never watched the full video of that, you got to watch it. It's really fantastic, and Cam, I think it'd be right up your alley.
okay.
Where do you find it?
Just on YouTube.
YouTube.
Drive
YouTube.
Under the Moon.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But it's
All right,
really
so
good.
don't read the Twisters comments. You never sent me anything to read.
Okay,
right?
so all right. So first off, Weather Fools,
So then,
Brady,
yes.
you got that order, and then just let them know they can find it episode 215 show notes on stormfrontfreaks.com. Then MJ will play the Twisters reviews video, and so here's what this is, and maybe nobody showed up with any, but my hope was find some really funny or bizarre comments from other people that have seen Twisters. And it's a funny comment. It might be a shitty comment. It might be a good comment, but it just was kind of funny. Didn't make sense. I was just seeing a lot of stuff that was really kind of funny. Like, God, does this person know anything? Or I don't know. Does anybody have any?
Should I do the mean comment from
no.
that guy from my post? That's the only one that I can
All
think
right.
of.
So I've got a bunch. So if no one else brought any, I'll do
some
your
to
laundry
Brady.
as well. And
Phil, my
and
laundry
I've
is
got a
in the,
bunch. So I
dirty
guess,
right
Dina,
now.
you're just setting me up. So Brady, what do you got? You got one?
Well, the only one that I can think of is that comment that someone left on my post, but I don't know if we want to.
But wait, what am I saying? Like, hey.
So
like,
anyway,
there's
so you're
good
just
and
saying,
bad.
hey, so spoiler. I would number one just say, hey, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Twisters, fast forward 5 minutes or give us 5 minutes. But just say something like, you should never read the comments on your posts, right? Or you should never read. They always say, don't look at the comments. So we're gonna cover some funny comments about the movie Twisters that we've seen. And you can even say maybe you've seen some and you want to share them with us, and we might cover it in another episode. But it's just bizarre, funny comments from people about Twisters, and just preface it by saying, you should never read the comments. I think we all know that.
Cam,
And
this is the
Angela,
first
you'll
time
have
we've
to
done
mute
this.
yourself.
Yeah,
Or
there's
mute
no way.
the sound so you can't hear it. Angela hasn't seen the movie yet, so
Oh, okay.
she's got to mute.
Oh,
Wow, Angela.
So she,
Hey, I haven't seen it either, so I'm seeing it this weekend.
So
yeah,
here's the truth. None of
Cut
the
your
comments that I have are really going to spoil the movie. So actually,
Okay.
Dina, scratch the spoiler alert thing. None of these are really
Okay.
going to spoil the movie. So
Phil,
these Go
Phil,
ahead.
who's doing the out? Who's doing the out at the end of that? You or Dina? And what is the out?
You
There
might
is
as well
no
just
out to it.
because.
Because
So-
I got to
Finish
have
the
something
document,
to
right?
figure out when I shoot the video, when I hit the video.
Right. I'll do the out since I'm the only one with comments. Okay. I'll just kind of quick run through the comments. You guys can comment on them, comment on the comments if you want as I go through them because they're kind of funny and silly and stupid. So yeah, and then I'll just go. Okay, so I'll say let's turn it over to Greg in our Freak Fan box, and then you can play the video.
And then I'll hit the video. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, and then I'll close this up when Greg is done.
Production values, you know.
Any questions?
My mouse just stopped working. Gosh darn it. We're falling apart here.
All right, we ready to go?
Well, I don't know. Stormcat, you're supposed to have the setup of all of us here. What's going on, brother?
He's got to do Weather Fools, so yeah.
Just go. We're good. I got another one. Go.
No, you got to do Weather Fools. You're like the
I'm
first one.
I'm throwing this away. Yeah. I've got another one. We're all right.
All right.
All right, Angela, Dan, we'll see you in a bit.
All right. Awesome.
All right, and I'll hit it in just a moment.
Hit it. Watch this. I'm going to count down. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Outbreak, a new live stream format brought to you by the Stormfront Freaks podcast, hosted by me, meteorologist Brady Harris, also known as Stormcat 5. We'll go live on days of extreme weather with the goal of keeping you safe, informed, and entertained. The only question that remains is, are you ready for the outbreak?
Don't miss Vintage Stormfront Freaks.
This one here, we do have a few dents in the new Suburban, but my truck, that hood's a trophy.
You might as well put 2 GoPros on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what it looks like.
So I'm like, I'm gonna drive this thing into a tornado, and then they all start laughing.
Good. You'll be the only sober one by the end of the night.
This is Bruce Thomas.
And this is Bruce Jones of Midland Radio, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks
Let's take a drive
podcast.
under the moon. Let's take a drive under the somber sky. Let's take a drive under the moon.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Welcome back, baby. Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. I am Stormcat 5, and this is Weather Fools. What is Weather Fools, baby? I'm standing up. I am excited because it is time for one of the best segments of this show. Now, what is Weather Fools for those that are a little, forgetful, or maybe it's your first time joining the show, and welcome if it's your first time, guys. It is us as the freaks. We're going on the dark web, as Phil likes to say. Phil, you probably need to send me that address for the dark web because I want to go on there and see what it's like. We are going out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere where we can find someone that did something not so smart, and it deals with the weather. We have several weather fools tonight. We got Dina, Phil, and Greg. Dina, you're up first. Who is your weather fool this week?
I have 2 of them, and they're kind of the same. And I make them weather fools because no matter what happens when you do live TV, something always screws up. And I love to see how on-camera people kind of roll with the punches, because then he's like, hey, look at this. He's doing his current temperatures, and he's got like a 2,385 degree one
wow.
that comes
Look at
up.
Fountain Hills.
Yeah.
1665 degrees Fahrenheit.
We're hotter,
They're all dying there.
We're like
They're
the surface of Mercury right now, but I love seeing it because, I've worked in live TV before, and no matter what, you can look at preview something right before you go to air, and then boom.
Hey. Do you remember the one where the guy was like, okay, everybody's dead, and
yeah,
it's coming up.
The next one. I think
that's the next one. Look at Serena. Serena's on the right there too. Her video.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think
we gotta get the audio. Do we have the audio for this one? We gotta get the audio.
You do have
for
the
this.
audio.
This is too good.
He's like, I think he does say everybody's dead here.
100 in Terrell. Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature, the heat index right now in McKinney is 10,000. What is that? 101,105. It's hot in McKinney.
I love it. I love when you can just roll with it because that stuff happens. It's just the way it is. And I love those kind of weather
They're dead.
fools.
It's
You
incredible.
know, it's good. It's good.
That's incredible. Just that clip has gone so viral.
I love
Dina,
that.
do you have another one, Dina?
No, those I just had the two, and I just liked them because they kind of just matched up. So it was good.
Unbelievable. Live TV is the best. We got some people in the chat chiming in. Live TV is the best because stuff like that happens. But guys, now it's on to Phil. Phil's got 5. I asked Phil to give me one. He said no. So Phil has got 5.
I overachieve. So it's with help. This is from Garrett. This is from our friend Garrett. I call this throw him a life preserver.
Wow.
And so we always talk about turn around, don't drown. And here is a 4x4 that gets stuck. And look at the semi truck that goes by him and just wakes right over the top of his windshield.
Oh.
He's like F you, brother, for not being smart enough to stay out of the water. I'm going to roll you with a wave.
Like, here's the thing. That dude is driving a $60,000 SUV. Like, forget even the weather fool. Like, just from an economic standpoint, that's just dumb.
That has to have flooded his engine.
I love the truck. Just says, "Screw you." I'm blown awake right over your ass.
Was that a Bud Light truck? That's funny. He's like, I got beer to deliver.
Let's
dude.
look. Let's watch.
Hang on,
Let's see.
Could be Miller.
Oh, maybe it looked like a beer truck at least, but
it is a beer truck.
He might have been drinking a little. I can't tell.
Hard
but
to tell.
It's
Looks
a
like
beer.
Miller?
It does look like
Miller. Yeah, I
It's a
think
blue
Cam's
Miller
right.
truck, though.
Cam's
He
right.
might have
Miller
been
truck.
drinking a few of those beers, so he didn't.
All right, the next one comes from our friend Luna Light. I call this "Always Trust the Government," and this is a clip of I don't think it's in the U.S., but it's in Canada, Greg.
It's in Canada.
Building Ontario, but they're trying to basically open a new facility or something like that, and they're doing a groundbreaking, and it's just pouring rain, and they're under like some flimsy 20 by 20 pop-up tent. And the water's sagging on the top of the tent. They're trying to push the water off.
Something bad's gonna happen here.
And what the funny thing is eventually they just decide, okay, this just isn't working because their mic goes out, the electric goes bad, and their mic goes out, and they just call it. They're like, all right, this just isn't gonna work, folks. Go home, have a nice day, have a beer.
Hey, Phil, Canadians, SMRT.
Help
I was
out
waiting
with that
for
acronym.
on our head though.
I'm gonna need to know what that abbreviation.
Yeah, SMRT.
Smart.
What is it?
That's how you spell smart in Canada.
Wait,
Okay. I was actually waiting for this to come down on her head, though. Does it?
Fitting. No, they just people are like, you know what? Should we just? There's probably like 3 people standing there watching this thing, and they're just like, this just isn't working. Screw it. Let's go home.
out. They got the Tesla gate behind them.
Yeah.
Keeping her dry though.
Building Ontario in the squall. All right. The next one I've got, I just call this not dominating. Because this is from China, I think one of Maz's favorite countries, and it's in a car. Guy's in a car and he's got like a dash cam, and he's literally in a tornado. He's just in a car,
just casually.
and this tornado is just ripping right through him. His car kind of moves every once in a while a little bit. You can kind of see it jerking, and then there's another truck off to the left that kind of gets pushed and backed up a little bit and says, "All right, we can't do this either."
It seems to happen a lot in China, seems like.
He also, at the end of the frame, Phil, I don't know if you caught it, but he started to drive forward at the end of the frame. Like, that tornado is still there, and he's just like,
Did he start driving, or did he just get pushed?
He might get pushed.
I feel like if he's not getting pushed now, he's not going to get pushed at the end, though, right?
I'm with Cam. I think that the number of these tornado videos out of China recently is like either this is AI stuff, or we're going to China next year to do our storm chase.
I think so.
That's legit. All right, the next one I've got, number 4, is nature's fireworks shouldn't be that close.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And so this is 4th of July fireworks going off near this neighborhood, as well as some, Brady, you got it, huge CG.
Huge. Whoa.
That's a once in a lifetime shot there. That may never that video may never happen again in human history. That's unbelievable.
So thunder roars, folks, go indoors.
The fireworks too. But
right. Well, I don't know if this is like a big public municipality that's doing these fireworks. They look kind of small, like they're just.
It might be
some house
neighborhood.
Yeah, look at that neighborhood. You got it, Cam. Yeah.
Also, the casual pan of that camera, like after seeing that lightning, it's like, I'm just gonna keep panning to the left. It's like, how does that person?
Maybe that
stay
beer truck was
composed?
on its way there. They didn't care. They were going to keep going.
Ludicrous.
All right, so we're talking about China. Here's another one. I just call this "Doesn't Look Like Your Basement," and this is some dude or gal in a high rise taking a video of a tornado that's actually coming, for the most part, almost straight at them. And this tornado starts going through some additional high rises.
Like that's Bridge Creek kind of
Wow.
tornado right there. Like that's the real deal.
Like, are you going to be up on the 20th floor, 30th floor to film a tornado that's coming right at you? Like
Get the
maybe you don't
shot.
have a basement,
Wow.
but something's better than the level that you're at right now.
I don't know, man. She's got a great vantage point.
I know.
This video is pretty
I'm
awesome.
pondering that question, Phil.
I know. That's why we're all freaks. We're all weather fools.
There's no way you're leaving that window in that situation.
And you know
kinda
that's
like,
going
I
right
don't
to the
know.
state anyway. She's not making any money off that. That's going right to the state anyway. So it's like it's
It did
all
kind of
risk.
get a little closer there at the end there. That was starting to make me
wow.
a little nervous, but
Have you seen the one with the guy in the crane?
Yes.
No.
I've seen that one as well. Yes.
It's at night too, so I mean, yeah, that's creepy.
Like literally up in one of those big skyrise, skyscraper cranes building. Yeah. That was nuts. All right, that's what I got. Those are my 5 for now, and I held back. I had more because it's been a few weeks.
Gosh.
All right, well, Brady, I've got a couple. In this first one, I mean, like there are weather fools, and then there are weather fools. These guys stayed out on their boat during a thunderstorm to test it out and see what it was like. And you can see this guy on the front of the boat doing the, I'm the king of the world kind of pose. And things start to go south really quickly, and they realize, okay, this isn't good, and the waves pick up. And frankly, most boating accidents happen on small crafts on relatively small lakes because people think they're invincible. And these guys got into trouble very, very quickly. And so, in a storm, get off the lake, be smart, don't be a weather fool.
MJ and I have
too much out of that
experienced that.
cooler. They're drinking too many beers out of the cooler.
I'm sure alcohol was involved in any way. I'm sure.
But when you're in a small craft, it doesn't take a very big wave to come over and
a pontoon boat's gonna flip.
Okay, Phil, let's hear it. What's your story?
No. So actually, I want to bring MJ in. MJ, you got to come in and tell this story because it is a good story. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, we were up on our annual fishing trip with family, and we had, there's a couple of stories, but I assume the one you mean is when we were coming in, right, that time?
No, I was actually thinking of the coming out.
Going out in the, yeah, okay, there's a couple, but, so we knew there was a storm coming. We could kind of, because Phil and I are weather geeks, right, and, but we were trying to break camp, and get ahead of it, right? And so we're breaking camp and getting ahead of it, and we're getting in. We don't know which way it's going or where we're going either, but we get everybody in. We had, 4 boats maybe, with people in them and all kinds of gear, just loaded to the hilt with gear. And we were just getting into the boat, and there was like a flash of lightning and thunder almost right away. And we're like, well, hey, we should still go and get ahead of it, right? And so we took off. And it's just a thunderstorm around us, and it is just, scary as all get up. And we got into a little narrows area between 2 big lakes, and we had a really big lake to get across, right? The next step, and we got in there, and it was like we were afraid just sitting in the boats in there. So we said, let's go. Cause it wasn't super heavy rain yet. It was windy and it was lightning. Right. So why not? Right. Let's go. And we took off, and this video that you see here at the end when they can hardly see anything. Yeah. That's what it looked like for about 5 miles across this ginormous lake.
Oh,
and
5 miles
on the
is a
board.
long
Yeah.
time in a boat.
Yes. 4 or 5 miles.
So we're going to put MJ and Phil in the same weather fool category as these
guys.
And you have to also realize we had a bunch of fishing poles in the boat, standing straight up, you know, in the boat as well. We're in the middle of this gigantic lake in a lightning storm.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was a bad idea. But that was a long time ago when we were still kind of stupid. So.
Young and dumb, right?
Young and dumb. Yep.
Evolved.
All right. Well, my next weather fool, and I guess Brady, our last weather fool, is one that we've probably heard a lot about over the last few weeks, and will, I'm sure, in August again. But it's pets in hot vehicles on warm summer days, and this is a shot that I picked up on YouTube of essentially police officers breaking into a car, breaking the glass out to rescue a pupper. Aww. And that's a giant weather fool, right? Keeping people in the car, kids and animals in the car. This is not the time of the year for that, but that's my weather fool. I wanted to end on this one because I was I thought this was pretty heroic. A good one,
by these more of a weather jerk.
Way to teach.
Yeah.
Way to teach.
Right on.
That's good. Good job, Greg.
Yeah, I think it's really important that people think, oh, it's just 5 minutes, right? But your car can literally get, upwards
130.
Of 130 degrees, which is deadly, guys. Deadly, and it happens like that, and you never know. So don't, for the love of all that it's good and holy, do not leave your kid, your animal, anything living, do not leave it in the car, especially during the summer. So good lesson there, guys. And also, if you want to check out all of our weather fools, go to stormfrontfreaks.com, look in the show notes section, look for show 215.
Calls himself a tornado ring.
And don't read the Twisters comments. This is part of the show where actually we're not going to give spoilers because what we're going to kind of give away is not going to ruin the movie if you haven't seen the movie. But, a lot of times we say don't read comments from people because they can just be mean, But we did find a couple that we kind of wanted to share. They're like kind of funny. So I think, Phil, you've got a couple of those, right?
So I'll preface this by saying, this maybe wasn't a good segment choice when you can't even communicate to your team what this is about. So that's on me.
Phil, I just thought you were bringing them all. I
I worried that I was supposed to read something you sent me, and then I was like, uh-oh.
All right. So this might be a one and done situation. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on that video intro, which might be a sign. But I'm going to preface this. So first off, understand, guys, Twisters, we had a great episode. We reviewed Twisters on the last episode, 214. Go check it out. We had Rick Smith and Connor Toon both involved in kind of getting the movie set up and in the movie as well. So they had some great behind-the-scenes stories about it. So go back and check that out if you haven't seen it. It was really good. But I want to let everybody know before I get into this, because everyone's told don't read the comments. Dina talked about that. You're never supposed to read the comments on your stuff because there's just people that will,
People are
jerks.
Thank you.
People are mean.
But I'll preface this. So Rotten Tomatoes, right? Rotten Tomatoes, Twisters has received a 76% critic rating and a 92% audience rating. So it's done extremely well in the box office. It's done better than they projected. So as I read these comments, it's kind of our weather fools comments of the movie Twisters is really what it is. So I want to share this with all of you because I think some of these are pretty funny. So here was one comment. Awful movie. The music, the acting, and the fact they're now driving into tornadoes is just ridiculous. Drills coming from the truck, just stop. Like someone hasn't done that before? People aren't driving into tornadoes now?
Also, that's literally, like, the drills is literally modeled off of Reed. Like, they literally have a car that does that. So
yeah.
So
you
anyway.
you guys have to imagine, and I'm sorry, I wasn't here for the Twisters episode when you had the guys on, but you have to imagine that in the creative process with that movie, they probably took all sorts of tornado hunting vehicles, right, and put them all up on a wall and said to the creative team, "Here's your inspiration. Go, design a movie tornado truck," because there's little bits of all sorts of
Yeah.
vehicles,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
that we see out there storm chasing. So definitely that, you know, is a ridiculous comment because I mean everything that was on that vehicle looked like something I have literally seen.
I mean, yeah, Greg, they had a hail guard just like the Orange Crush. I'm sure they took that inspiration as well.
from the Crosstrek.
Dan's vehicle has that hail
All right,
guard in front.
I actually got Dan Wallace actually got that idea from Dan. By the way, that's Dan Wallace's idea. I just put into fruition. All right, here's another comment. Anyone realize the guy from Top Gun didn't have her last name, and he also didn't know where she was going, but on his own stalked her mom's address and then showed up at her mom's house? Pretty frickin' weird.
He's hot. Leave him alone. He's hot. He looks good in a wet t-shirt.
So
all right,
Dean and I saw this great meme, and you know, if I would have known we were doing this, I would have got it on here today to show it. But it was about review of Twisters, and it was like talked about the science and the science and the science, and then it said, "Here's the science," and then it was like a montage of 30 seconds of Glenn Powell taking his shirt off and like his shirt wet and like the wind blowing his hair.
That to me, please.
Right. Science.
Right. She wants science. All right, here's another comment. The original Twister ride at Universal Studios was far more exciting and enjoyable than this remake.
Oh,
and if any of you have ever seen that ride at Universal Studios, anything is better than that quote unquote ride experience. Is what it was.
I'm going to give that 2 fingers up, Phil, on that comment.
That's good. MJ doesn't have to edit that out of the podcast. That's good.
No.
All right, Maz, were you ever at that Universal Studios Twister experience?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Twice.
What'd you think?
You know, I expected more.
That's legit.
It was a long wait, you know.
That's a legit response. All right, here's another comment. A bit confusing until you learn what a twister is.
What?
What?
Exactly. All right, another comment. Hicks streaming tornado chasers didn't make for a great storyline for me.
Okay, that one's fair.
But they did turn out to be way better. Like, you know, like that's kind of way they started.
They ended up being the good guys, right?
Yeah.
The point is, there's all kinds of. There's all kinds of storm chasers. That's fun. All right, this one I like. This was kind of a positive comment. I like the evil tornado. That was like was the bad guy in the film, right? Was the tornado?
Yep.
Here's one. Tornadoes on command. Like literally, there's a cloud. Hop in a truck. 15 seconds later, you have a giant tornado.
That's the movies. Come on.
Cam, that seems real, doesn't it? That happens when we're storm chasing, right?
Unless you just want everyone to just, like 90% of the movie to just be like, driving.
Driving, trying to find a bathroom.
What do you want?
Greg
what do you want? You can't have it both ways. It's either tornadoes or bathroom breaks and gas stations.
Can I get a movie about Blue Sky Bus? Can I get one of those movies?
Exactly.
Exciting. What'd you think, Cam? What'd you think of the film? Oh, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet.
Okay.
But just based off of where they went with it, I'm sure it's good for what it is. The only thing I wish they would have done, I think some of the comments would agree to, is like have that mix of genres in there, because it is a very like country heavy film. I feel like that first one we had like Dusty, he seemed like your like grungy rock kind of guy. And then you had your classical music chasers, and then you had like Bill Paxton, he was your country dude. So we had like that mixture back in the old film.
Yeah, this
was
was
heavy
definitely
country.
This was pretty heavy Oklahoma, right? Like they really played the Oklahoma culture up pretty hard in this one.
Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah.
But it was good. Like we mentioned it in our last show. Like, did you leave there entertained? Did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Right.
I did.
Are you not entertained?
I am entertained.
That was MJ. When MJ gave his review, which was that, I thought of the Gladiator. Are you entertained?
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, a couple more. Here's another comment. The special effects were non-existent.
What?
They were so good. They must have thought they were real. Real tornadoes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
terrible.
the video, the storms and the tornadoes were great video.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one I've got, actually, before I get that, Greg, what? Because we didn't really have a chance to talk to you on the show. What were your thoughts of the movie? What'd you think? Without spoiling
I mean,
the ton?
I gave it a 10 out of 10. And so obviously I liked it more than the average bear because I'm into that kind of stuff. I think if you went back in time to 1996 and you checked in with Siskel and Ebert and whoever was doing reviews back then, I would imagine that Twisters did not get much higher grades than Twisters got from the reviewers. But I thought it was great for what it was. I mean, Tim Marshall actually had some comments about, he was talking about the science, and he was not sort of, you're not going to be able to stop a twister the way they showed it. Well, of course not, but you're also not going to get little balls with Pepsi cans attached to them up into a tornado to read. I mean, the science was irrelevant, it was fun. It was a fun movie. Just like Kingpin was a great bowling movie. This was a great this is a great storm chasing movie.
Great analogy.
And look how long Twister, the original, has lived in our genre.
Right. So anyway, Phil, I loved it. And Cam, I don't think you're going to find that the country genre is too overwhelming in it. Mm-hmm. I thought the music choice was appropriate for what it was, and I loved it. Phil, and I'm actually going to see it 3 times next weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So boom.
We got to rack those numbers up. It crushed at the box office.
Nice. Yeah. Cam, here's what you need to do once you see the film. Then you need to do a Cam Crosby version of it and throw in some of your music tastes and flavor to it. Because literally, I think it really doesn't matter what music genre you choose for some of that music. Now, they did a good job, I think, with the themes of some of the songs fitting with what was going on. But you could do the same thing with any genre of music. Like you could find some of the same themes. And I'd be interested to watch your cut of Twisters if you ever get around to that.
Yeah, and I mean the thing too, like right now we have sort of a country boom going on with a lot of country artists coming out with a lot of top charting hits. So I think they're just kind of also capitalizing off of that too.
Yeah, and the Oklahoma thing, I think that's a legit comment that Greg made. All right, so the last comment I'm going to share, I think I found this from Dina. You might have been using a different name when you posted this comment.
Was I watching like his shirt part?
I don't know, but here it is. It's Glenn Daddy was a baddie. Glenn Daddy was a baddie. I know that was you, Dina.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I can have my wild side.
Yeah, clearly in the chat, you need to stop in the chat. You're freaking me out, Dina. God,
I was doing that for you. I was doing the whole Freddy, like 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Did you guys know all the way to 10, right?
Yeah.
Stop. We're not doing that.
Yeah, just stop. I don't want to hear that either. All right. So that was our never to be done again. Twisters, don't read the comments below.
Phil, I think it went well. I think it was a good segment.
It was a great segment.
All right, maybe we'll pull it back one more time. But let's jump to our freak fan box.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby. Yeah.
Looks like I was a little quick on the draw there, Phil. Okay, freak fan box. I'm going to start with we've got from Logan. Logan said, cars in the shop, so I figured why not hop onto the new Outbreak PC game. I got it today. Pretty neat setups. We need to get an @Stormfront Freak Orange Crosstrack on there.
Oh, nice.
Right on, Logan. And also from Tyler, loved this conversation. He was speaking of episode 213, the Doppler on Wheels, Dow's Josh Werman, and Karen Kasiba. That was a great conversation, and thanks, Tyler, for that comment. And then from Steve, he said, really enjoying all of these podcasts. This one was really great regarding episode 212, Stormnet's Andrew Brady. And so thank you for that, Steve. If you want to get your comments read, contact us or send a message via Twitter, in the comments on YouTube, or just drop us a line. Go to stormfrontfreaks.com and go to the contact page and hook us up with your comments, and we'll read them here on the air.
That sounds great. Hey, Brady, can you announce our awesome little
Plombo.
super chat?
Thank you. Oh, guys, Plombo, it's too bad I'm not a member right now, or I would be letting the Nuggets emotes fly, guys. If you're members, let the Nuggies emotes fly in the chat for Plombo, who just donated $25. Thank you, Plombo. That is an unbelievable picture. If that's your mustache, man, you got a nice mustache there. So thank you, Plombo, for the 25. Let's let those Nuggies in the chat fly.
Brady, are you
Plombo.
sure that Plumbo's a dude? Because if Plumbo's not a dude, you just hugely insulted Plumbo.
It's a great stash, but it's a great stash regardless, Plombo. Thank you. We got a lot of emote. We got the emotes flying like crazy in the chat.
That
Thank
everybody
you, Plombo.
still remembers your Nuggies from the Chase strip.
Gosh, I don't know if you saw the picture I had today from on my Twitter, but there was a Dino Nuggies plush toy at the Columbus Fair for $12. So I maybe bought that. So check that out.
Exciting content.
It literally was Dino Nuggies, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm in an alternate universe.
So, Dina, I think we all know now. I think Stormcat 5 had his coming out party during our Storm Chase week. I think that was
He went to a butterfly.
I don't know what happened.
He became a different person.
He's a huge, dragon now.
So anyway, I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks Live. So thanks for watching, or if you happen to be listening to the podcast, thanks for downloading and listening. If you love the show, we'd love for you to follow us, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit that like button, the thumbs up. Let us know you at least like the show. Of course, if you don't hit it. That's legit.
No,
We're okay with that.
No, hit it anyway. Smash it anyway.
All
if
right.
you don't like it, they'll know. Don't worry.
All right, so that legit. I'll turn it over to Brady on that. But and certainly subscribe. Hit subscribe, whether it's on your podcast app, whether it's on YouTube, or you go to any of our social medias. Just follow us, and you get updates on what's going on and what we're doing at the time. Let's find out, freaks, how people can kind of find and follow you. Greggles, I'll start with you.
Well, you can find me on social media at Tornado Greg, and on my Facebook fan page, which is Greg Johnson, Tornado Hunter. And I'm really pushing that right now. Most of my content right now is going through my Facebook page. So Greg Johnson, Tornado Hunter. And if you subscribe to my Facebook page, I'm doing lots of behind the scenes stuff with photography and doing videos where I'm teaching people about how to edit photos and create photos and how to use their camera and all that kind of fun stuff. So Greg Johnson, Tornado Hunter on Facebook.
That's sweet. I'm glad you're doing that, because you're a great educator on how to use the camera and how to do that.
He's a very patient person.
Greg,
I've
I'm
asked
up
him
next.
the same question over and over, and he still answers it.
And simple.
I'm gonna come on you.
He keeps it simple.
Facebook.
Yeah, he does all that stuff. So anyway, great job on that. All right, Brady, Stormcat 5, where can people find and follow you and send their cat pictures?
Yeah. So, first of all, Greg, I'm gonna have to check out that Facebook page, because I'm in some dire straits with my camera. As you can see, we're kind of phasing in and out, so I'm gonna need your help there. But you can find me on pretty much every social media at Stormcat5 with an underscore. So we're still trying to contact the person who took the original Stormcat 5, but we've tweeted at Elon and no luck so far.
Legit. Hey, throw an underscore. You never know. Actually, all you really have to do is just search Stormcat 5. Just search that. He'll pop up. You'll find it.
Yeah.
If you forget the
You'll
underscore, no big deal.
Hopefully.
You won't miss the guy in the goggles. It's pretty cool. All right, Dina Knightley.
I'm Lady Pilot 70 on Instagram and X and Threads, so I'm pretty much the same name. But I was going to tell Brady, he just looks like he's a little electrified right now. With his phasing of in and out, he just looks like he's electrified.
He's twitching.
He's got a charge.
You can you use that in one of Cam's next videos of kind of phasing in and out, and I'm sure Cam's already got all the secrets on how to do that stuff too. But
yeah, it's like he's manifesting and demanifesting.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Manifesting a cat.
All right,
Yeah, that's-
Mark Masmassaro, where can people follow you?
Yep, I'm an X-Man. You can find me on X at MoneyStorm, the number 4, the letter U. That's at MoneyStorm4U.
Maz, that's the best name.
Maz is always on like the West Coast because the sun's always shining at his place.
Beautiful out here, man. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
My
always-
beer's gone. though.
Money Storm for You might be the best Twitter name I've ever heard. I'm just telling you right now, that needs to be on billboards across the country. Maz, just saying.
All right. Well, I just wanted special thanks to Cam Crosby who joined the show tonight. Appreciate you having
Thanks,
the chance
Cam.
to
Thank you for having me.
spend the night with us. This was outstanding. It was really good stuff, and we actually, I think there's probably a lot of questions still to be asked that we want to probably maybe have you back at some point. So, good luck with your October release of Paratwisted.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, so our next episode is we have a former guest back to kind of announce some amazing tech and weather software, and there was a little bit of a sneak peek that if you follow Brady's Stormfront Freaks Outbreak coverage, you got a little bit of a sneak peek of this, but Adam Skinner from Instant Weather is going to be back with us. He always blows our mind. I remember Greg's mind, just like he was trying to ask Adam a question. He didn't even know how to ask a question because of the software that Adam was sharing with us. So he's going to be announcing the release of Virtue Weather, which is some new software that basically takes you virtually to the storm that's happening now, takes the radar image, creates the storm clouds and the structure of the storm, shows you the live lightning that's happening live, and you can actually see the storm from up top, from down below, from multiple angles in Google Earth. So like you can be in the cities or in the country actually on these roads and looking up, and you can actually see these storms as they're happening, as they look. And so Adam has done a great job with this, but he has shared this with Stormfront Freaks. So now we're able to use this. Brady's able to use this on our Outbreak coverage. So it's literally, you know what? If we don't have a storm chaser in that particular part of the country, like I know Garrett's in Virginia tonight, and he's doing some storm chasing. But let's say there's a storm down in Arkansas, and we don't have any cameras there. We don't have any storm chasers there. We can pull up Virtue Weather and go to this location in Arkansas, see the storm as it's happening, see the lightning as it's happening on whatever road you want us to be on.
We live in the future.
Wow, it's like a flight
cool.
simulator.
It's
like
pretty
a flight
cool. And
simulator.
you can go in the
but,
air.
storms.
You can go in the air, or you can literally spawn a car and drive. Like it's pretty cool.
So we're going to hear about that. Plus, they've got some other huge announcements of things that they've got coming out. So we're going to be so excited to have Adam back on the show. We'll be live Thursday, August 15th, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. So we'll be on YouTube. So make sure you follow us, subscribe there, and get notifications. And then you can also follow the audio podcast that'll be available that weekend on your podcast player. Greg, what are you laughing about?
Plombo's comment, but I just realized I read it wrong. He said this group can explain weather and reach an audience from 6 to 60. And I was like, I think we have more than 60 people watching, but he meant age-wise.
Yeah,
he meant
Greg-
age-wise.
Greg and
I'm like,
Maz
we can
have
reach
that
more than
60.
60 people.
And we have no one on our show that's close to 60. We're all very youthful, like Greg, Phil. You guys are like in your 30s.
Oh, thanks, Plombo. Thanks,
Except
Maz.
Maz.
Put me
He
in
left
there,
Maz out
Stormcat
of that.
5.
No, okay, Maz is youthful, man. Nina, we got all of us. Dina, I mean, we're all just in our primes.
All right,
You gotta
so those of
save
you
it.
watching, stick around for our after show party. But for Greg and Stormcat, for Cam, Dina, Maz, and obviously in our green room, we've got MJ, Dan, Angela, and Garrett. I'm going to signal the all clear. We'll catch you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Go!
See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. You can watch our bi-weekly show live on youtube.com/stormfrontfreaks and download the audio version on your favorite podcast player. For links to our Patreon team of exclusive benefits, show notes, past shows, new videos, merchandise, and more, visit our website at stormfrontfreaks.com. While you're there, check out our interactive chaser radar from our friends at zoomradar.com. If you'd like to contact us with questions or make comments about the show, shoot us an email to questions@stormfrontfreaks.com or follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Search for Stormfront Freaks. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next time and tell a friend about the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
That was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
That was really good.
That was fun. I realized, wow, we that third set of segments went long. Like,
yeah,
well, you only have 52 weather fools.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of chitty chat.
We did.
Hey,
Cam, you were awesome. Thank you, Cam.
Yeah. Thanks, Cam. And we really do, like, you know, especially out in May, if we go out in May, you know, tag us if you're out there.
And I gotta say, Cam, your environment there, your studio, is so on brand. I love the red background, the dark. I like that you got your hood up. You know, like you look the part.
Well, it was thrown together because, like I said, it's a little editing, area in my office. But I don't do podcasts, so I try to make it a little bit more appealing for you guys.
Hey, MJ, can you share my screen? So, gang, here's my deal. I've got booked next Saturday. I'm going in for a tattoo that I've been wanting to get for a very, very long time.
You're getting a tat?
And so what I did is I took a screenshot from Wizard of Oz, which is the foreground, and I put in the background a twister that I photographed in Nebraska in 2019. So that's my tornado that I photographed in the background with Dorothy and the house in the foreground. So that's going to be the tattoo I'm getting in a couple weeks.
Where are you putting it?
Next Saturday.
Are you getting it on your butt?
I'm gonna do a sort of like it's gonna wrap around on my forearm.
Ooh, like when you flex, will it like kind of move and like wiggle? Greg, are you sure you want to get it like on your forehead?
So there's a lot of intricacies to that photo. What is that going to look like once
like if you've ever seen a tattoo artist that can do really good realism tattoos, like detailed tattoos, they look really, really fantastic. So
God, I can't wait to see that. That is sick.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
So Greg, do you have one of those, or you got the bargain guy?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a great point, MJ. It looks really great when you get a great tattoo artist, but I don't have a great tattoo artist.
You had a good promo code.
Yeah. So if you've ever seen if you've ever seen Pinterest fails, where they show what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
I haven't, but I need to now.
Just Google Pinterest fails.
I'm gonna make one for you. Like I'm gonna do something with that photo and make it. Here's what Greg's tat is gonna.
Do it.
Here's
he's
what the photo looks like. Here's what his tat will look like.
You always wonder about tattoos when you're like old and 90 and all your skin's saggy.
Nobody who's getting tattoos is living till they're 90, Dina.
Greg, is this your first?
Like, how long is that tornado?
No, I've got 2 tattoos already. So.
Ooh, okay. So he's tatted up. So what about this?
How did we not see these tattoos after drinking?
Well, you'd have to be a very special person to see my tattoos.
Can we do a chat-inspired tattoo, Greg? If we get enough people in the chat to like donate to get you a certain tattoo.
Sure, if you can set something up, I'll play along.
But the chat will like determine what the tattoo is.
Yeah, that's fine. I will play along.
Oh, don't agree to that. You don't know.
Don't tempt me. I've learned how to use Canva, my friend. It's a powerful tool.
Cam, you seem like a tattoo dude.
Yeah, I'm very behind on tattoos. Every time I get a chunk of money to blow, it's like do I want a new lens or do I want a tattoo? You know,
Ooh, that's a good point.
I always need new lighting. I always need new something. You know, we always tear the gear up. So
you have no tats?
Oh, I have some, but you know, I would like a lot more than I have. But
Phil's got a Tasmanian devil across his lower back.
Really?
Yeah, like the tornado part, like the little peak at the bottom, is like right touching my crack.
Oh, no.
It is perfect.
Hey, I love this, Brady. Brady needs a chicken nuggies.
With a dino.
Brady, are you going to try to get sponsored by Sinclair?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a great question. I'm thinking that and like maybe Wendy's, and you know, we're working it out.
I'll tell you what, Brady. I will pay 100% what it costs if you get a dino up here, up on your chest.
Oh my
A
God.
Sinclair dino on your chest. I'm paying
Dude,
for
my
it.
mom, I can guarantee you this, my mom will cut off all support of the show if
We don't need her $5, Brady.
She will no longer be a member, and she will no longer
We
be a
don't
Patron
need her
member.
$5.
She will cut me
Oh,
off.
yes, we do.
There's a guy down
Oh,
in southeast Oklahoma who he has like a stockpile of the actual like big metal dinosaurs outside the Sinclairs, and he's selling them for like
Oh,
Really?
Brady.
No.
they're like
Okay,
5
so
foot
Mama
tall.
G says, I'm a graphic design artist. I can do you a nugget. Yes, do it, Amy.
Yes,
or Mama G.
Mama
Mama
G.
G. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tweet it, and, like, so we could see it or something?
It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see this.
You got to make the eye of the dino as your nipple. So like that's
Oh,
the
God,
eye, and
we're
then bring.
getting- we're not even that drunk yet.
Can we do like a henna tattoo? What about a henna?
for yourself,
How about henna? Maybe like a henna
Oh,
tattoo?
Phil,
I'll do
Phil
it.
Lee's-
He's afraid of
Phil Lee's
Casper,
drunk.
so but we're all gonna have to go hold his hand.
Okay, hold on, Angela. You know Casper. I mean, even Cam was like Casper's a little sketch, so he pretends.
Not as sketchy
you know,
as
I'm
the
just saying.
woman. The woman turning into the ghost at the end.
Oh,
She's a lot more scary than Casper.
she was creepy in real life too, though.
She is.
Legit. That's like Dennis Quaid from Christmas Vacation. That guy's a little creepy in real life.
Don't
too.
you badmouth Dennis Quaid. He's a saint, okay? Didn't you see him day after tomorrow? He was amazing.
Greg, am I thinking of the wrong Quaid brother?
No, I don't think you are. I think
Okay.
Yes, you are thinking
Yeah,
the wrong
you
one.
are.
It's Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, thank
Yeah,
you.
Randy.
Yeah.
Quaid.
I was
Yeah,
like, nah,
He's
I don't
the
think
one
it's
that
Dennis.
said the shitter's full. And
Yes,
the other
that's
one
right.
who's trying to save everybody.
Dan Wallace, show us your tattoo.
Wait, you have a tat, Dan?
Oh, is he gonna?
Oh,
Getting up.
down.
That's a sign.
That's
He's
Tam.
getting up.
If he has to get out of the chair.
Angela's got a tat. I know she's got one,
I
right?
got 2.
Oh.
2?
Yep.
2.
What and where?
I have a cross between my shoulder blades, and then I have a seahorse stylized like a real horse on my left shoulder.
Okay, well, you are a
Ah.
horsewoman.
I don't remember.
like horses?
You weren't showing that off on Mount Washington that I remember.
Well, if you don't remember, it was like what, -52.
It was pretty cold.
Yeah, it was a little chilly.
So-
A little chilly.
Legit.
Yeah, a little chilly.
That was a little cold.
Harley Lewis, you have 5. Elizabeth 6.
Holy cow.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
It's a
Am I the only
freaking
one without
contest.
it? Dina, do you have a tattoo?
No.
Okay, so you and me are the only ones. Or no, does
My-
MJ?
I don't either. No.
You don't either.
Okay.
Brady, my oldest daughter is covered. She's got all sorts of them. My youngest daughter says, you don't put, how does she put it? You don't put graffiti on a canvas. I can't remember how she.
On a Picasso?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know if I would describe myself as a Picasso.
So,
So
Brady,
one-
is this
one-
your
one-
mom?
one
Is this your
daughter
mom that
lots
says I have
better than-
6? Meow Mom 7 says I have 6.
It's not my mom. It's a great name though. My mom changed her name to a burner account, so now you guys will never know which.
Yeah,
one
it's
she
Meow
is.
Mom 7,
won't
right?
judge
It's
her.
not
We
Meow Mom
won't judge
7.
her.
I can guarantee you it's not Meow Mom 7. Oh,
Oh my God, that's funny.
it's a great name though.
All right, guys, I'm going to, I got to take off here.
Yep.
We've had a long show, so.
Sounds good. Cam, again,
Yeah.
thanks for that. We'll so this is on YouTube, and of course the audio podcast will get uploaded. MJ usually does that on Sunday. So I will post some things on social media that you can either copy and whatever, or you can post your own. You had, by the way, you did have unbelievable, outstanding graphic you did, a month ago or so, about talking about being on the show. That was great. That was cool.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, cool.
You got any questions?
Not really. Greg, what happened to tornado hunters?
Well,
how much time we got?
No, it's a short answer. So the show did really well, but in Canada, Cam, our media is regulated by something called the CRTC, Canadian Radio and Television Communications, and in 2016, after our show had aired for its second season, we were on a network which was called a cable network, and all the cable networks were essentially, if you got a cable package in Canada back then, you couldn't buy individual networks. You had to buy a package, and the package had, let's say, 50 networks in the package. And so the network we were on had 150,000 or something like that subscribers. But then the CRTC changed their regulations so that people could buy individual networks. And this was CMT, which was Country Music Television, was just like a nothing network. Mm-hmm. And so when they changed the rules, essentially they went to very low viewership, and they just couldn't afford to do the show, and nobody else picked it up.
Oh, I got you.
It's a shame.
So yeah, it's too bad. I would have loved to have done it for another couple years, but didn't happen.
Yeah, I used to watch it with my son when he was little. He used to dig the truck and what you guys were doing. So
yeah, cool. Well, we tried it.
Nice.
We tried to have fun with it. You know, a lot of storm chasing stuff is pretty serious, and I think that's probably originally, Phil, why we ended up getting connected, because it kind of just like to have a little bit of fun, and
yeah.
And that's why we got connected.
You like to have fun, Greg?
And now I throw rocks at guys' balls because I watched that show. So
yikes. We did like to do the little ball taps, that's for sure. But anyway, thanks for saying that, Cam. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Angela, did you have a question? Are you raising your hand or?
Oh no, I've been up since 2 a.m. So I'm gonna go to bed.
Oh, you're good. You're good, man. You're
bed,
golden. You may as well stick it
Nice
out for
seeing
another
you.
24 hours.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
YouTubers.
Bye,
All
guys.
right. See you guys.
Yeah, Bert. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yep. Love you guys.
Hey, real quick. Do you know